Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Beauty on a Budget. My name is Heather and today is Friday, October the 25th of 2024. I'm standing here in my hallway. I'm going to be doing the closet that's just outside the bathroom. I decided this is where I'm going to store my makeup, skin and hair products, and some of my more more costume jewelry stuff, like not like the pieces that are like really important that are in my good jewelry box, but I just don't have anywhere in the master bedroom. And so I said I was done cleaning for today. I was working down in the basement all day. I mean, it's almost 7 o'clock at night. I started down in the basement at like about 8 this morning. I did a really good thing. I thought I was going to be done my basement today. Decided to do laundry. My washer just, leaked. I have a flood down there. I had to go to pick up my husband from work. It took him like almost an hour to mop up all the water. Look at that big yellow mop bucket. He got one full thing and then another almost half a bucket of more water. And when I got back from taking him to work, the laundry room was full of more water. So I did measure because I had some bookshelves down there, and so it's about 2.5 inches deep is how big the puddle was in my laundry room, based on where the shelf was, and all my cleaning products on the bottom shelf were all just sitting in water on the shelf. So I decided to just take a little break, but I really wanted to get some cleaning done and organizing done too. So this is the closet. I do want to paint it blue, and I do have that shelf liner, and I do want to put some shelf liner in here, just to give, instead of just being white when you open it, I like something fun, vibrant colors. So next week I'll paint it blue, but I want to just get this organized. So I'm going to take everything out. So the bottom shelf is paper towel and toilet paper. Then this is just a garbage basket. And you can see this is just how I moved things when we left the other house. This is just all these little plug-ins and some little doggy bags. And then this is just the soap dispensers from different bathrooms at the other house. So everything we just kind of put in here as we were last load leaving the house. And then we got our first aid kit. I don't even know what's in this box. Okay, that's light bulbs, light fixtures, light bulbs, more light bulbs. Light bulbs, and more. Is this light bulbs? I think it's either light bulbs or light fixtures. Well, we're changing out all the light fixtures in this house. So I'm just going to go and remove everything out of this shelf, and then I'll be back. Right, so I got everything cleared out. I just took a damp soapy cloth and just wiped these shelves off, but you can see why I really want to get in here and paint these shelves. And I'm going to paint them the blue, and then because I do want color here along the back, I'm going to use more of this I think it was called wallpaper. That's what it is. This wallpaper back here. And because it's going to be a blue wall, I actually like the idea of not having the wallpaper from completely across, just having it like partially. If I go like this, you see it would just be a strip of it, and then there will just be on either side, some of the blue will show up. That way, it'll take me less wallpaper, because otherwise, to try to piece this together, it's going to be like one and like a half a roll. And these have these big flowers here, and I don't know, I just don't want to piece things together. I've got so many other things I'm working on. Just want to make things really simple right now. So I've got this wiped out. And say sorry about the lighting in my hallway. The hallway. There's no light on this side of the hallway. There's only that little light there, and see, I don't know if I can even get a clear shot of it if I turn it off. If you can see, it's supposed to be a black fixture that is just coated in, light bulbs and everything is just coated in the ceiling stucco stuff. So it makes it kind of really dim in here. So we are getting new lights in the next 2 weeks. Same with, like if you're going up the stairs, I don't know if this will work. There's like not really much light going up my stairs. I mean, there is the light at the top. Again, it's a similar fixture to this one, but the top of the stairs has like 3. But we're gonna change that out and we're gonna actually add a light, another one at the bottom of the stairs and another one right up here, just outside the bathroom door, just because it gets so dark at night. So now I'm just going to, over here, I've got all this toiletry items. So I'm just gonna go through these boxes and just put everything up where it's gonna go. So back there, I've got my nice jewelry box. I just have to find the key so I can open it and put things in there. But otherwise, just want to get this stuff put away. So I'll be back as I get this stuff put away. Right, so I'm back. I've got kind of everything kind of figured out where it's all going to be on these shelves. I'm just waiting for when the sink in the bathroom gets installed. So I decided that I'm just going to take all this out and I'm going to actually just paint this whole thing blue. I'm just going to grab my wallpaper here. So I had, sorry, just bumping everything. I had bought 3 packs of each of these. I used this one here in my front closet. And I believe to do this one, I'm probably going to need 2 packs. I cannot find the other one of these. I can only find one, but I've got all 3 of this pattern. So I think I'm actually going to use this pattern in this closet. And so what I decided is, if I wanted to do like the full length of that back panel, like this, then I'd have to cut off a lot of here. You can see that when it's touching here, then I'd have to cut off about almost half the roll. But I love this pattern and I love the way the flowers kind of go up. So I want to do it this way, but I measured, and so I'm going to end up with about 5 inches on each side of this in the back. That's just going to be the blue paint, which is fine. I just want to pop a color in here. So I'm just going to, I decided just like the smaller, lighter print versus the big, bold print. That's what I was going to do. But I think I like the smaller one better for the size of this. And then also because it's kind of like a tree, then it's just going to be along the back. And you'll just kind of see, the tree kind of going up through the back of the wall. I like that one better. So I'm just going to take everything out and I'm going to get ready and I'm just going to start painting. So I'll be back as I start painting. Okay, so I've done about 3 coats of paint. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my camera. It just keeps tipping on me. So this is going to take 3 coats of paint to get this done. I'm not sure what kind of white paint my husband had used, but as I go over with the blue, I go forward and back. Let me see if I can. You can see it's just, the paint is not sticking. I don't know why. It just seems to not want to stick. I am having to really press hard, and I gotta go so slow. So it's definitely going to be at least 3 coats of paint. I don't understand what kind of paint I'm trying to cover up. It might be an oil-based paint. I've had that before. Or this shelving, it is that, like, I'm not quite sure what type of, shelving this is, but same thing when I buy that Walmart or IKEA plasticky type furniture and you try to paint over it, it's really hard to get a nice smooth coverage. Like I said, I don't understand why it's just not sticking. There's certain places where I cannot get any paint with the roller, but it's so much faster with the roller than to hand paint this. So I'm just going to continue to just paint these shelves, and as soon as I get one good coat on, I will be back. Okay, so there is the first full coat on the inside of the entire closet here. So now I just have some cleanup to do. I splattered on the floor, and then trying to get around here. I just gotta grab my cloth. I don't think it's wet enough, but if I just scrape this off, this paint should come. This has been varnished very well, so the paint should just wipe away or just kind of scrape away. So I'm just gonna have to do some cleanup around the few places at the top, and then of course like near the hinges and stuff, anywhere where my paintbrush was just a little fatter. I'm just trying to get in here. So I'm just gonna clean up the floor and around on the wood, let this dry, and I'll be back to do my second coat of paint. Okay, so I've got the floor clean. I've got mostly around the doors done. So this is the first coat of paint is dry. There's still, like I said, just the first coat, so there is like lots. I guess I missed this entire strip inside these doors. That's okay. When I do the second and third coats, that will all be fixed. Like I said, it was just, I'm trying to get this to cover up. I don't know what kind of paint was on here before it was white. I don't know. It might have been the same brown orange stuff that was in the front closet. But this is just, the first coat. So I'm going to get ready to do the second coat. But before I do the second coat, I'm going to do my quick measurements of the height of each of these shelves. I think they're the same, but I'm just going to do a quick measurement. That way I can paint, and while the paint is drying, I can then cut out the wallpaper, and then, then get ready to do the wallpaper and then do a third final coat. So I'm just going to grab the tape measure. Okay, so I've got my tape measure, so I'm just going to measure just a rough estimate from like up here to where this shelf is, and I'm getting just a little over 12 inches. I'm just going to see if I'm getting about 12 inches. Well, 12 inches, 12 inches, and 12 inches. I mean, it's actually where the 1 foot is, it's actually just, oops, just right over just a little bit. So it might be closer to like 12 inches and a quarter. So I'm going to cut each of my pieces 12.5 inches. That just gives me that extra little bit of leeway when I'm trying to put it in here. If I can't quite get it centered perfectly, then I can always just trim off some of the top and the bottom. I also know that I'm just measuring like from the bottom of here to here, and I know that these shelves are handmade, so they're not quite perfectly centered along this back wall here. It'd be a little different based on how straight these shelves are. So I'm going to cut each one out at 12.5. So I'm just going to change my clothes again, because these are not what I was wearing painting, and then get ready to paint the second coat, and then I will be back when I've got the second coat done. I've now got the doors and all the 5 shelves painted a second coat. So I'm just going to let this dry for a few minutes, and then I will clean up, because when I was going around, I just moved my camera, I was doing this little edge here, I kind of went over, the little hinges, that's what they're called. So I went over the hinges, so I do want to wipe up any of the paint that's on those hinges and on this wood. My stand is just tipping on me. There we go. Oops, no. Okay, so to clean that, I just got to grab my cloth. So I just have a damp cloth. Oops, 1 second. Yeah, so my dog's outside and somebody just walked by with their dog, so just wanted to bring her in. So I just, like I said, I just got like just a damp, this is just a tea towel that I'm using right now, or dishcloth, whatever, and then I've got one of these nylon scrubbers. And so, let's see if I can just angle it so it doesn't tip. So I'm just gonna take this, they are damp, and just over top of here, and this kind of just scrubs most of that paint off. And then if I just take the damp cloth and I just wipe that right off, and I'm getting all the paint off. I'm just going to angle the camera, let's see, a little bit better. Back up, Eleanor, back up, come on. I've got paint here, you got to go that way. My hallway is so tiny. Okay, let's see if I get this. This one, no. Which, there we go. There. Okay, so I'm just gonna move the thing of paint out of the way. Just gonna get in here a little closer. So I can do this here. Gotta kind of hold this, but you see I got the paint on the hinge, so this I can just scrub a lot of this paint off. And then just take the damp cloth and just wipe more of it off like that. So that's all I'm going to do to the hinges and around this wood. And I'll be back to cut out the wallpaper. Alright, so I got the wallpaper. Alright, so I've got the wallpaper laid out. I've got my Sharpie and the tape measure and the scissors. Got the scissors. Okay. Now I have the scissors. So I just have my tape measure out to about 12.5. And I only need 5, so I might only end up using half this roll. But I just gotta make sure I've got powder going the right way. Okay. So I've got my ruler, so I'm just gonna start at the top here. Make a little tick where the 12.5 would be. Just all the way down. I already did the one side, but now I'm doing the second side just so I've got a line, so I can do a line, so I can cut from one line to the other if I can speak. Just one more. There. And then I'm noticing that ones on that side are not lining up with the ones on this side, so I've messed up somewhere. So to figure out where I've messed up. Yeah, this line here, I've messed up this side should be here. So put an X so I know not to use that line. That made me like out by like a 1/4 inch all the way down. Okay, now I'll just make sure that if I go straight across, so we're lining up. Okay, now they're all lining up, so now I'm just going to cut. And I like how most of this paper has grid lines. So I'm just trying to cut on the grid lines, or where there's no grid lines, there's wording. So I'm just trying to line up the wording with the grid lines. I'm going to start where the lines are. It's easier if I can start where the lines are. And these do have measurements on here, but I find it hard to use some of these, especially if you're cutting them into different sizes. Then what you need is a different size than what they've kind of measured out. It does help, but I think having the grid lines makes it so much easier. So now I've got these 5 cut. So all I have to do now is just wait for the second coat of paint to dry, and then I will see if I need a 3rd coat. Otherwise, I'll be back to put the wallpaper on. Okay, so I had to do a 3rd coat just to kind of get this done, just to cover up the white. So now I'm just gonna let this 3rd coat dry, hoping it doesn't dry so streaky. But if it does, it does, I don't know. So I'm just gonna wait for this 3rd coat to dry, and then I will go and put up the wallpaper. So I'm just gonna go get my husband from work, and by the time I get back, you know, it should be dry enough for the wallpaper. The wallpaper's already cut out. So I'm almost finished doing this hall closet. All right, so last night got kind of late when I got my husband. I was waiting for the paint to dry. So today I'm gonna hang the wallpaper. Just tightening this. My stand is tipping. Okay, there we go. I think I've got it tight. So I've got my wallpaper cut out, and I've got it now lined up, because after I cut it and then I kind of set them aside, they kind of got out of order. So these have this pattern with the blossoms growing up on the tree. So I had to get them back in their right order. And then I also knew that I wanted some shelf liner. So I had this one. I opened this last night to see, you know, how much I needed for this. So this one here, it's 12 inches by 30 inches, and this is the pattern I have. And when I lay it down, it pretty much, you know, covers the shelf. I mean, I've got a little bit that I have to trim. Actually, you're totally not even in the view of the camera. Let me try that again. Okay, so when I unroll this, I don't need it to do the full depth. I just want something kind of to protect the main area here for when I'm putting my jewelry or makeup boxes in, that if it slides, that the paint isn't gonna get rubbed off. I'm gonna say this one, when I opened it, I kind of wrecked it. And got stuck to the, whatever, the packaging. So I put that to the back. Like that, and so I've got just a little bit, maybe about an inch and a half or so I'll have to trim off. And then this morning I just, you know, because I also have these other ones, and if I went with these ones here, these ones I'd have to trim so much. If I want to do the full shelf, then I'd have to cut about 6 inches off and then trying to cut to make each one even. I think I'm going to save this for the larger places, like under my sinks, and that's what I think I originally bought this for, or in my fridge. This one is 18 inches by 6 feet, so it's quite a big one. So I think this will work best for under my kitchen sinks or in the fridge. So that's why I decided to do this one. And then I had to go to quite a few dollar stores to find more of these this morning, and I had trouble, and so I could only get 2 more of that pattern and 2 of this. So I'm going to do alternating. So, you know, 3 of them will have the honeycomb, and then 2 of them will have this other, I don't know what that shape is. I can't think of it. I do know it, but it'll have this other pattern to it. They had a blue one. They had enough of this other blue one, but I thought the color was just too dark and just too busy, because I just don't want to, you know, have too much stuff going on in here. Excuse me. I just didn't want too many busyness. I mean, even like having this down, and then just set this here, like even this, and that's going to give a lot of pattern and stuff. But again, I just don't want it overly patterned, so I decided to keep with more neutral colors. And then to help keep those stuck down, I bought a pack of this instant tack, and so I'll be doing this. So first thing, I'm just going to be doing the wallpaper. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm here in the middle, so I'm in the second bottom, so I'll do that one. I'm just going to lay each of these pieces down on the shelf that they go in. Just want to make sure that I've got them all lined up. So I'll do this one. So do this, it's very easy. I'm just gonna peel off if I can. I don't have enough light in this hallway. There's just one little light, and actually the light actually has 2 light bulbs in it, but they sprayed the ceiling with that, you know, whatever, that textured stuff. Not quite like the popcorn exactly kind of thing, but very similar to whatever that texture is called. And so the light bulbs and globes are covered in that too, so it kind of gives me less light. I should have more light put in the next 2 weeks, but right now, this is all the light I have in my hallway. So I'm just gonna peel this off. So I got a good amount to start with. I'm gonna try to center this. I'm just gonna grab the tape measure, make sure I've got center on each side. I think I had measured about 5 inches on each side. Oops. I didn't really need it. You know, it's just hanging up and getting the first one started, and then I did cut these each just a little bit longer. So that's 5. So that's about center. And then as I pull this and smooth this out, doing this backing off. The backing on this one kind of ripped. Smoothing it out slowly. When you do get an air bubble, you can just peel it up and get the bubble. And that was more than just an air bubble. I've got a couple of these shelves. I cannot fix the backs of these. I'm trying to get in a little closer. So this board here is no longer attached here. I mean, I can see the nails completely sticking out. I can fit my hand in there, but I cannot repair this. Behind this wall is the bathroom, and so I'd have to go in through the bathroom and from that side and tear down the wall to get into this to hammer it back into place. So that is just something I cannot fix. There's a couple of these shelves that are like that. I think it's just this one and the one above it. And like I said, you have to be from the other side of the wall to hammer it back into place. So I can't fix that. So I'm just going to stick this down, and those nails are in my way down here too, because this way it's just pulling away. There. So that is the first one done. So I'm just going to do the other 4 shelves the exact same way. Let's do the one above it. Just gonna pull my camera up a little. Same thing. Just kind of measure 5 inches. Just kind of 5 inches is there. 5 inches is about there, so that's about center. And you just slowly smooth it down and to the sides. And because I cut this just like a little bit bigger, I've got some extra leeway down here and up here. And then I will grab the X-Acto knife and I will just trim off any of this excess. So I'm just going to do the other 3 shelves and then I'll be back. Right, so I now have the wallpaper hung and I've got my other shelf liner set out. Now I was using this Instant Tack and I went to tear it apart and it, just kind of went all gummy on me. So I just got my scissors and I just cut my little pieces out. I'll show you in a second. I just down here, and then I've got my down here. Got them all just cut. Each liner will get 4 little things to help hold the corners. And I've got these all out of the rolls and laying down. So now I'm just gonna get these all lined up. And I was gonna find that one that was a little damaged. And I think it was this one here. Yes, I'm going to put the one that's damaged up on the top shelf because you're not going to see it. So I'm just going to start with this shelf here. Figure out where I'm going to have it lined up. Piece of this Instant Tack stuff. I'm just going to stick a piece there. Grab another little piece and just stick it about here. This, just grab a little piece. I'm just kind of rolling it in between my thumb and my finger just so it's there, and another one over here. That will just give it a little bit of hold. I don't need a lot. And then I'm just going to smooth it out. And I cannot find the X-Acto knife, so I'm just going to use a utility knife here. I'm just going to score where I need to cut. And then I've got the scissors and I'm just going to cut right along that line. This one, I'm just gonna cut right along. If I could find the X-Acto knife, then it would be so much easier because I just have to go across it a couple times with the X-Acto knife. Just this utility knife is or this paring knife is just not sharp enough to cut through all of this. So that shelf is done. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other shelves. And then I will be back. It's just really quite easy. Although this time I think I'm going to not tack it down until after I've trimmed off. Now the reason, you can just trim off just the one side. But what I've noticed is trying to line up this edge. So here. Maybe I'll do this side. So I'm trying to line this up. It's not perfectly straight against my board. My wall's a little funny. So I find it easier just to trim off just a little bit on the one side. I can kind of line up the pattern as well. Trim off, a little bit off both sides, and it kind of makes the pattern just a little more even. Because like I said, these shelves are not lined up quite exact. So, I mean, you may not have to trim both depending on how your shelves are, but I always find it just easier to do that. So I'm just gonna trim up the other ones and then I'll be back. Okay, so got all the shelf liner in, the wallpaper in, so this is what it looks like. And yes, I know there are bumps in here and I cannot smooth it out. You can see like old paint dripped, and unless I want to go and sand this down and completely, you know, spend hours doing this, it's just inside a closet, I'm not going to be able to get all those little bumps out. And I do know up here I can see where even though this is 3 coats of paint, some of that white is still showing through, because this is the top part. I probably did miss a few places. That not a big deal, it's just in the closet. When I open the closet, I just want to see something more than just dirty white, because the white was getting all dirty and stained, and oops, pet hair caught in the wallpaper. That happens. And then like these ones here where I've got these big gaps, not so much that one, oh, it was this one here. So I didn't even trim the wallpaper, I just was able to press it down using my thumb and the edge of the knife. And so I actually just got the wallpaper to go around and down as far as it will go. So I couldn't really, you know, do anything with that. And then up here, I did take the knife and I just scored along here too. Some of this is like, you know, got gaps, so the wallpaper went up in the gaps. Other spots where I could just tear it off. Then you get a nice clean edge. Same with, yeah, like under here, I can see I've missed places painting. I don't care. It's just a little cabinet, just like the little closet. It just gives something, so it just looks really cute. And I did my best to line the wallpaper up, and I will say it's not perfect. I mean, if I wanted to do actual measurements, I said it's really hard because these shelves are not lined up. The amount of space on either side for every shelf is different, so I did my best to line it up so when you're standing here, let's see if I can get this here, you know, like the wallpaper is pretty straight, but when I actually measured, it's off a little bit on each side on each shelf, but that's the best I can do. So now I'm just going to go and put all the toiletry items back in, and then I'll be back to show what it looks like when everything is back in its place. Okay, so here is the closet. I've got all of our stuff. Oops. Eleanor, back up. Got all our stuff up here. Now most of this stuff is supposed to be going into the bathrooms or back into my room. Just, you know, for right now, everything just has to sit in this closet. So I think it looks really good. I mean, this is gonna help protect the paint from anything scratching as I pull things in and out. And I just love the little bit of the blue wallpaper. I mean, it kind of pops through here and there, different levels. Obviously the top one you can't see, but everything on this top one actually belongs in the bathroom. Nothing is really, actually I'll try not to hit that mirror again. Everything is just, you know, kind of where it has to be for now as we finish, you know, unpacking and finding spaces for everything. So this is now done, so I can say I'm, you know, slowly getting the house back, or at least everything more put away, more functional. I'm still working on my kitchen. I didn't like the way I had anything organized. So it's not practical, though, like, you know, things fit, but it's just not practical. In here, I've got everything in here. It fits. Again, it's not quite practical, but so we're waiting for the vanity to be put in and the medicine cabinets to get put in. And then I can do another one of doing my bathroom, which I can't wait to do. Again, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's subscribing to my channels and watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next ones. Bye.